Mother England here, and that's the Air Force, the Army Air Corps crest. And then you've got Nazi Germany. Of course, Nazis occupied much of France,
Yes, it did.
and Belgium, and Holland, and Denmark. But the early missions were really heavily focused on these submarine bases along the Atlantic coast.
Because they were shooting all the supply ships. They were trying to get stuff to England so they could fight their war.
That's exactly right, because the lifeline for supplies and material and men, a lot of, you know, the flying squadron's men went by air, but most of the 303rd Bomb Group went by ship.
That's right.
You know, not the airplanes, but all the men and materiel, and of course all the war material went. So the U-boats were causing havoc, and the 8th Air Force said we've got to stop that. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this chart. It's a little bit complicated, but again, this is the evolution of tactics. And so what you got on this slide is 3 pictures. The picture up here is if you're looking down at a bomb group. Let's say this is the 303rd Bomb Group. They would put up 20 aircraft, 6 up here, that would be the 358 Squadron, and I'm making this up. Okay, they fly 6 aircraft, 60 men. The 359th Squadron would put up 7 airplanes, that's 70 men, and the 360th Squadron would put up 7 airplanes, that's 70 men. So that's about 20 airplanes, and they call that a combat box. Now, when you look at it from the top, you can see that formation. And beats me might be this airplane, number 2 in the high squadron. If you look at it from the side, you can see that there's still 3 squadrons and 20 aircraft, but you can see how they're spaced out horizontally. But there's a high squadron with 7 airplanes, a lead squadron with 6 airplanes, and a low squadron with 7 airplanes. And the tacticians figured out, you know, what is the best way we can fly these airplanes to make sure the Luftwaffe has the minimum chance to take us on. We've got 20 times 11, that's 200 plus machine guns. How can we space out our firepower so that, you know, they're not going to want to tangle with us? Now, the good news was the tighter the formation you flew, the more threatened the Luftwaffe was. They did not like to tangle with aircraft in formations that were tight, because there was no way they could get through without getting shot at pretty heavily. The bad news about that was the tighter the formation you flew, the greater the risk was of running into your own airplanes. And we're going to hear about that when we get over the target. So, and this picture over here shows you tail view. If you're looking from the back, you know, the lead squadron's in the middle, the high squadron's stacked up high, and of course the low squadron is low.